All right, what is going on, everybody? Okay. Get set up. What's going on here? Let's video deactivate, activate. There we go. Hope everyone's doing well. I was recording last night, so give me a second. Let's get the ISO dialed up. We'll get the Vice in focus. Make sure the mic's good. Mic check, mic check. We should be good. All right. Hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Let's get the music turned up just a skosh so we can get some tunes. All right. What is going on? So we are going to be tying some squid flies. Now check this sucker out. Bill from Easy Body sent me something to play with. And this is something that he actually makes. And he's trying to make more of them and whatnot. But he does have these on his website. The Tentacles. But check this sucker out. Short fin squid fly. And this has Easy Body tubing for the body section and here. But this is really what we're interested in. These are some felt squid tentacles. So these are cut felt, pieces of felt that were cut. And he's been selling these for a while. He had these for a long time and then had an issue getting them produced. But I think he's trying to get back on it. But I saw these. This is pretty cool. I've seen felt cut frog legs and things like that in the past and other things. But I was like, this could be interesting. We could have some fun with this. So this is probably what we're going to be attempting to tie ourselves. He did send me some tentacles. But you guys can check that out because that looks really nice. So it really, it looks good. I don't have a brown marker. We're going to have to use a black marker, maybe orange. We'll see. But I'll show you here what we have. And I think these are larger. So we're going to be tying a much larger squid fly as well. Now I'm limited by certain hooks and stuff. You really want to use a very large shank hook. As you can see, the whole idea is you want the majority of the fly to be the squid body, because that's anatomically correct squid, for instance. But let me also lower this just a skosh. What's going on, Paul? How's it going, man? But so you can see it's pretty simple. You just tie one on either side, and then you end up with 8 tentacles, essentially. So we're going to give it a try. And I also have some articulated shanks and things like that. So we could always possibly get the length by using an articulated shank, for instance. But I do have some hooks here. I was looking for the longest shank hooks I have. And we do have these Gamakatsu spinner baits. Now these are 3-odd, but ideally you want something almost even longer shank than this, maybe like a 4X. But I do think this will work. I'm thinking almost what we do is we have an articulated shank off the back where we tie this first section, and then we have the body of the squid be on this hook right here. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're just going to give it a go. We're just going to free ball it and see how we make out. Now the thing is, I have some articulated shanks here. They are somewhat long though. So let me see. I do have this. I do have these smaller ones, but they're not as good. But we could use something like this, for instance. These are the other shanks that I have. They're a little less heavy duty though. Now, it doesn't really matter because we're not putting hooks on this section of the shank, right? But the whole idea is that you want the majority of the body section to be, you want the fly to be 2/3 of, you want 2/3 of the fly, I'm sorry, to be the body section. That's the correct way of phrasing that. English, right? But, so if I had some smaller shanks, that would be ideal. So maybe something like this might be better. I wish I had some 4-aught or 5-aught hooks, but we can always use some different hooks as well. So I do have, let me see what else I have. I have these 4-aught mustad hooks, which are substantially larger, which then we could use with an articulated shank. So I think we're just going to try some different things, and we'll see how we make out. Ideally, we would order some different hooks for something like this, but I do have different stuff. We'll see. We're just going to play it by ear. Maybe we'll do part of the fly as, something else. Cut the hook point off a hook and use that as a shank. Yeah, we could do something like that. I have these smaller shanks, though, from Fly Tire's Dungeon, and they're a little thick, but this will work just fine. So I've used these in the past. But I think what we'll do to start off with is, can we get away with just using one of the hooks? I think, see, the thing is, I think this might be a little, these are pretty big, so I think we want to use even larger hooks than these 3-aught Gamakatsus. But what's going on, Shinobi? How's it going? Yeah, these are right up your alley. Maybe that's an option. You should cut out of felt. You take felt. Now, this is laser cut, but you could probably use a razor blade. Take sheets of felt and cut bat wings. That would probably be the most durable and the best option, possibly. But what I would try and focus on is trying to make the wings either folded in or something, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, mono shank. We could do it on a piece of mono. That's actually a fantastic idea. We could do that. And I do have stiff mono here. We'll go Shady Lady style. Yeah, I was thinking about that with the bat stuff, because that's an interesting fly you tied there. I should have some piece of mono here, right? We've been using a lot of it recently, so I do have 100-pound, I believe, as well, but that's a little heavy. But where is that? In here? Ideally, what we would do is we would take this and put this in the microwave, I think, to straighten it. But this is 100-pound trickfish that we have here. So we could probably just use this. Again, I kind of wish I had a larger hook, but that's okay for this. Make it work. Also, what's going on, Zeke? How's it going, man? When are you going bone fishing with Mr. Cowan? Now, we really don't even need that to be this long, right? So we kind of just need it to be like something like this, I think, because we really want most of the fly to be tubing. Now, what we could do is, this is one of the reasons why I was thinking shanks, is we could do the tentacles and then have tubing on the shank, because it'd be kind of hard to do the tubing on this. You can do it, and then have more tubing up here. That's kind of what I was thinking. But let's see, maybe we could just try it. Let's kind of size it up. This is going to be sticking out maybe somewhere like here. Something like this. And we could maybe do some rabbit fur or something. We could always do some easy body here, like this, and then have more easy body. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's try it out. Let's give it a try. I'm going to switch from the mono thread just because I want something more durable. Yeah, ideally we'd have some nice big heavy duty like 4X hooks. These are like the sort of hooks that you use for like making poppers. You know, those old school poppers where the body's like here to like a cone shaped or something and tapers down towards the back. I have so many hooks, but I don't know. I moved a bunch of hooks around somewhere and now I don't know where they are, so it's all good. I was looking for... I have a bunch of random non-fly hooks that are pretty big. I was thinking we could use for this, but... Okay. We'll put some classic signature Mike Ross. Not signature, though, technically. What do you call it? Flat wax titanium. A circuit? What do you mean by a circuit, monkey? I know they have, for instance, they have like the woodcutters that cut with lasers and stuff like that. I'm not. What do you mean by I'm trying to a circuit. All right. Now, ideally, we should start with the piece of mono, huh? It's gonna be kind of a little tricky, but we don't really want it to stick off like too far. We can always just do it in our hands, I guess, and then we can put it in the vise. All right, so to start off, I think we need something to open it up, right? We want some way of it, like something to sprawl out the tentacles. I mean, I guess we could have them just laying against each other, but I kind of want to wrap something, palmer something underneath. I think that's a good way of starting it off. So let me actually zoom out a little here. Let me see what sort of... We could use hackle, but I think we're going to go cross-cut rabbit strips, possibly. These are cross-cut? Yes. The only problem with this is it's going to make an absolute mess, but whatever. We don't need much of it, honestly, so I think... we could just do that. Problem with rabbit strips is, as you can see, all these tiny little hairs going everywhere, but other than that, it's one of my favorite materials. Also, new video coming out tomorrow. Paul saw it, but for all the members, it's out early. The Easy Zonker by David Skoke. Fantastic fly. Classic New England pattern. So how are we going to wrap this? This is going to wrap like this. We want it to maybe start like that, and then we wrap forward. We have to tie it on here. Let's just do this. I'm just going to be lazy. It's 100 pounds, so it's fairly stiff for the most part. I think what we'll do is we'll give ourselves some room, and then I'll just burn the end of it. So we get like a little ball. Thank you, Paul. That way the thread doesn't slip off or something like that. And I want a palmer, so this always screws with my head. But let's see. We're going to wrap it. We could tie it like this and then wrap. We're going to wrap this way. So we could also do it this way, I suppose, right? Just because I'm working with a piece of mono, it's like screwing with my what I'm used to here. We gotta move our thread forward. I'm thinking we just wrap like a couple wraps. Maybe even just something like this. Just so there's like a little something, you know what I mean? Underneath the hackle. We can secure that. Let's turn up the tunes a little, shall we? It's Friday, you know. Hookah Lounge is wide open. All right. So, we got that. Let me just finish what I got going. I'll crack open another. Going in June. Okay. You want to try for pickerel, but the ponds are iced over? Yeah, dude. It's freezing cold. We're gonna have to wait till it's like 40-something degrees. I could take you to a pickerel spot. We got a couple pickerel spots out here. I'm sure you got some. So I kind of want to tie this like these. Do I want it even further out? Maybe I do, like this. No, I want to secure it pretty good. I think that's the point where I want to pinch it. And then we'll wrap it back even further, but... Oh yeah, dude, we'll get it tented. We're tenting our felt tentacles. Raph, outdoors from in chat from Quebec. What's going on, Raph? Bonjour. That's one in the tank. Mm-hmm. Thank you, thank you. All right. I almost feel like there should be some crystal flash involved. Oh, you know, the other thing I'm realizing, he had like a cool piece of rabbit strip hanging off. We should have just done a piece of rabbit strip. We should have probably done that first, now that I think of it. We can still do it. Let's just, everyone, take it back. That was a premature clap. Let's tie a piece of rabbit strip dangling off the back. We're using mostly white. But I kind of want to use some tan. We can also use pink. What do you guys want? I'm going to let you guys pink. I'm going to let you guys pick. What sort of colors? Because we also are going to be using some rabbit strips up front. Now, I only really have a black Sharpie that's applicable. And then maybe yellow and an orange. But really, I wish I had a brown Sharpie. Pink? We're going to do pink for this one. We'll do tan after. I like the pink. Cool thing about Squid, they change all sorts of different colors. We just kind of want that dangling out there. I suppose we probably should have done the rabbit strip first and then palmered, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not like this is going to foul, realistically. I already cut that long, so I'm going to use it, but I almost feel like I should have made that just a tad shorter. To put the rabbit strip away because the hair is going everywhere. Hey, that went in the bag. Sweet. It was like a tuft of hair flew in the bag. Goal! What happened to my tunes, man? My tunes! Okay, very nice, very nice. Now, of course, I could just tie the exact same fly, but that's not what we do around here. I always have to put my own twist on things, so we're palmering rabbit strips. We're gonna take some crystal flash and tie that on because we like to mix things up. The crystal flash, though, I think we should make this significantly shorter. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I wait till it's not completely iced over, and wait till a sunny day, like you said. I usually wait till the sun is the highest in its point, and then there's some shallow areas and some flats and some kettle ponds where there's usually grass and stuff, and we've done pretty good like that, catching pickerel over the years, just waiting. It's a little tricky to wait. We got to walk through the woods to get to this one spot, but it's a cool place. You know, I think I'm even going to cut this even shorter, to be honest with you. Because I think what we're going to do is we're going to like palmer something on this. Now, the whole idea is we're going to have eyes on here, right? So we're going to put tubing is what we're going to do. But I feel like we should palmer maybe like marabou or something. Sure. Why not? I'll just grab what I see first, and there's a nice pink one there in my little thing. Some striped bass fishing live. Oh, dude, I did that for years. It's really tricky. You need a nice setup. Because doing it with a phone, I have no connection out here, and it was just turning into a pain. But we did that for years. We caught sharks. We did a bunch of shark fishing on the fly live on my stream on Twitch in the past. We'll definitely do some more fishing streams and stuff in the future, but it's tricky, and I did it for years. Not only just destroys my data, but AT&T limits my bit rate after I stream once or twice because I'm using so much gigabytes of data that they're like, what the hell? You're using like the amount somebody would use in like a month watching YouTube in traffic or something, you know? But really, it's the lack of good service. So what you see is people spend thousands of dollars on these backpacks. And these backpacks have a modem from AT&T. It's a wireless hotspot router. And then they have a modem from Verizon. And if it drops, they switch between the two. But it's a huge investment and stuff. So I just use a phone. And I've destroyed so many phones over the years saltwater fishing and streaming that. We have clips, and if you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see there's some of the fishing videos that we did in the past were just Twitch clips or highlights, like the biggest bluefish we caught, which was like damn near close to 20 pounds on the fly. We caught that on our kayak. That was like a 6-hour stream on Twitch on my kayak. We caught like 30. I don't even know how many. We probably caught like 300-400 pounds of bluefish on the fly that day. They were all like over 12 pounds. Absolutely massive. I'm actually going to just taper some of these marabous. We don't want them to get in the way of the tentacles. The tentacles are really the... I should probably even trim that rabbit, but that's okay. Okay. Now we can work with our hands here. We'll do some more fishing streams, don't worry. I just kind of got tired of it. And we did... This year, there wasn't any good fishing to stream. I'm going to make a video on it. I probably should have done it before the end of 2025, as it's 2026 now. But I'm going to make a video on how the fishing season was, and pretty much just like go over how terrible my fishing was for the year. Because it was not good at all, striper fishing. I think we caught more false albacore in like a month than we did catch striped bass in the entirety of 2025, which is really, really bad. Normally we catch hundreds of striped bass throughout the year, but from shore this year, I didn't catch a single fish by my house, which normally that's where 90% of our fishing streams were, because I have good service there. And we didn't catch a single fish there the entire year. And then there's some other spots that I normally stream. I didn't catch a single fish there this entire year at all either. You would have done that a totally different way? Yeah, Mad Monkey. I will say I did kind of... That was a little tricky. I think I should have had it facing the other... like, facing like this, but whatever. Or facing the other way. It was giving me an issue. Or giving me some issues, but that's okay. Okay. Now... We're going to have some easy body tubing go over this. That's how we're going to glue the eyes on. Yada, yada, yada. I think what we're going to do is whip finish. Well, that's a great thing, right? Everybody in chat that fly ties, I could give you guys all the same amount, or the same material, the same amount of material that I'm using right now. You could follow along and even try and do the same thing, and it'll all look different because we all tie differently and we all have our own personal styles, right? It's like playing guitar or something. Like you can have 5 different guitar players play the same lick, but it'll all sound different generally. What's going on, Craggerroll? The bluefin fishing is amazing. If you watch the Albie highlights, there's a young kid that was sitting on the front of my bow. He was like 18 at the time, but now he's like in his 20s. He spent the year commercially bluefin fishing out here on a boat, and they go out and they catch like 500, 600 pound giants. And we have giants literally like 100 feet from the beach. Now, these aren't fish you can catch with a fly rod, unfortunately. I'm hoping that we get more like 50 to 100 pound bluefin, which those are out in the canyon and out. What people do is they leave Long Island and they go out about 40 to 60 miles off into the Hudson Canyon. And it's this giant canyon that comes out from the Hudson River. And that's where the crazy like offshore fishing is. But nowadays people can go like 5 to 10 miles offshore and they can go catch giant bluefin. But I need the 50 to 100 pound ones coming inshore and that I can catch on a boat. You know what I mean? Because I've talked, this is wise words from Chris Windrum at saltwaterflies.com. He goes, I told him, I was like, Chris, I have my boat and, excuse me, that, what do you call it? There's tuna and stuff. I'm like, dude, there's like giants. There's like 500 pounders and stuff. He goes, you do not want to hook a tuna that is over 100 pounds on the fly rod. He goes, theoretically, you can catch one like 150 pounds or something, maybe even that, or 120, but anything over 100 pounds on the fly, and it's going to be absolute torture to where you wish you didn't hook that fish. And I'm like, oh my God, all right. Because I have a really bad back. So that like kind of changed my perspective. I was going to go try and hook one of those giants on the fly, and I was like, all right, yeah, okay, thank you for taking me down a notch. I'm an idiot. He goes, you will not have fun. Let me just tell you that right now. It's not going to be a good experience for you. Oh, yeah. I've seen that. That's crazy. That's absolutely... Like, you can catch them on stuff like that, but the proper way of fishing for giants is using, like, freaking giant pen reels, you know what I mean, and whatnot, and they're fishing out of these $1 million boats, and they go and they have giant winches to winch them out, and then they're selling them to sushi shops and stuff. It's a huge thing out here. You caught what's going on, Luna? You caught an 80-pound yellowfin this summer on conventional gear. It took you 45 minutes to get in. That's what I mean. So imagine an 80-pound yellowfin on the fly rod. Now, mind you, we're using fly rods built for, like, marlin. But still, like, I mean, there's a reason why the reel fits 700 meters of backing. You know? There's a reason why there's that much line on there and whatnot. Let me get this ready. I'm trying to think how we're going to do this because we've got to put easy body on here. So let's go ahead and cut some easy body. Can we use large for this? Should probably use just like pearl or natural, but... So we also have this much larger size. Or is this just large in pearl? I think this is just large, but in pearl. We'll use this. Because we do have this. I mean, we used this last time. But I feel like we should use a bigger hook for going like this. Because, I mean, we could just make like a big squid body. Like that. I mean, maybe that's what we do. This, though, would be a little tricky here. That would be a little tricky. But, I mean, we are going for a much larger squid size, right? Maybe we use this size back here. Nah, we're going to go large. Screw it. I'm just going to take this and cut this and tie like a section here. Like that. And then we'll glue the eyes on it. Because technically it would be on one hook shank. And you would have the piece extending off the back, tie this, and then fold this back on top. But we're going to do it different. Because we're just freeballing it. Yeah, like that. Double it back? Yeah, I could double it back. But it's going to be on... I guess we could. We could have it doubled back here and then double back there. We could do that. Alright. We'll try it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it would have been better to use the large. This is like the super, super duper large. We need it to be somewhat long, too. Hopefully this works. I don't know. I'm just going to... I only have so much of this stuff, so I'm just going to cut it. Let's put some, like, super glue on here. What's going on, Barfy? How's it going? Hope you've been well. Bring the 16 weight? Alright, there you go. You hooked a big eye on a charter and lost it on the, at the boat. Couldn't even move your arms? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we catch like 4 albies, and I'm like, alright, dude, I gotta sit down. I catch 2 albies, and I gotta sit down. Alright, Raph, sounds good, man. Good luck with your ice fishing. Let's try this. Let's see how this works. Maybe I want it a little farther. Or we'll tie it like here. This is an experiment. Let's zoom out a little too. So what we can go ahead and do is whip finish. Whip finish. Dabble, do ya? Yeah, there we go. Because I kind of want it to be a, like, you know, something like that. Because we're going to have the eyes right there is the idea. That works. Let's just wrap this down right now. Good call, Jen. Good call. Leave it to a professional. We're going to have a tube in a tube in a tube. And you say you're not a fly designer? No, because this is all stuff that, like, you know, somebody did. Somebody's done this. I probably saw somebody like Dave Skoke or somebody do this back in, like, 2000. Now, I could be like, yeah, look at me, guys. I'm so good. I came up with this. I'm the best. But, yeah, you know, I'm not. I don't do that. Like Jim Bob did this in his basement back in 1998 and was slamming giant bluefish on the Koh Nantucket. But everyone forgot about Jimmy Bob. I'm just coming up with a fictional character, obviously. Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. What if we just, like, really... Because if we pinch this here and then fold it back, it's going to get hung up. So I kind of almost feel like this does need to be more farther forward. Now that I think of it. That's a my beat. You know what I mean? Because otherwise we're going to have a gap, which I guess theoretically we could wrap something in between, but I feel like we want that body section to be more in line with each other. So I think we want it like this. The fish yearns for Jim Bob squid. Yeah, yeah. That's a classic New England pattern. The Jim Bob. Yeah, I think we want it closer up. It's a little awkward because it's like a little, it's quite large and in charge, that piece of mono, but that's fine. We just wrap this back. Beautiful thing about fly time, we're going to cover it all up. Nobody will know nothing. The Fly Wizard. Do you guys, when do squid run? Usually I think in like May and June. It happens in Montauk. They get a ton of squid in between, what is it? Shelter Island and Montauk there in Long Island. And we also, people get squid out in the ocean here. We were using squid as shark bait. We were jigging up squid off little reefs that were like 3-4 miles off the beach in my boat. And then we would just hook up a squid to a piece of monofilament and a balloon and hand it off the back of the boat and then have sharks come up and we'd throw flies at them that just were covered in marabou and bunker oil. You know what I mean? But I think in Massachusetts they get a pretty good squid run. They get a pretty good squid run in places like Cape Cod and things like that. We got to put some eyes on here. Let's do that. Well, I guess we could, I mean, yeah, we probably should do it right now, I guess. I feel like that we should do something in between this, but we don't want something that will cover the eyes. So I'm just going to take a freaking grizzly hackle and I'm just going to palmer it. Do Montauk monsters follow the squid run? No, no, no. Those are just raccoons that were bloated and hairless. Just been sitting in the bay for too long. Or like a deer or something. But I do have, you know, for one Halloween special, perhaps when, like, you know, we hopefully have like a good amount of viewers, and there's enough viewers to where half of you guys will be like, screw this ain't fly tying, but the other half will be like, oh, that sounds fun for Halloween. But I have a pretty much like, I'm gonna be the DM and you chat will be the character, and it's a pretty much Escape Plum Island Montauk Monster theme Halloween special. So I was gonna do that this Halloween, but I ended up I didn't have it ready in time and stuff. But, so, that'll probably maybe be next Halloween, or I'll just save it for some point and work on it. But pretty much, like, we would have chat, like, somebody in chat would randomly get chosen to, like, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to try and get here or do this? Are you going to try and fight the monster? What do you want to do? And then we'd, like, roll a dice, you know, and I'd be the DM. But we'll save that. And we'll make sure it's, like, really nice and fancy. If I'm going to do something like that, we got to do it right. You know what I mean? If you don't know, I've DM'd a bunch of games of Savage Worlds, which is a type of tabletop RPG like Dungeons and Dragons, and stuff like that. And we've streamed it in the past, things like that, solo D&D and whatnot. So I do enjoy that sort of stuff. Let's put some big old eyes on here. Do I have anything larger? I might even have. I mean, that's pretty big, but I feel like I might. I just might. Let me take a look. And that does look pretty decent. It's going to be kind of hard to get something bigger than that, because that's pretty much like the size that you're seeing that I use for Bob's Banners. So yeah, let's use it. That looks fun. How am I going to glue these eyes on is the question. UV resin probably, right? I knew someone who worked Plum Island. His supervisor was a centaur. Damn, they got centaurs? Hell yeah, what the hell? This is like, now we're really playing Dungeons and Dragons. You must go and find the centaur. And slay him. You will get a reward of 5 gold. Mike and Jerry battled the MK Ultra Demons. I actually did a ton of different research into that. So what happened, you know, they actually shut down in Plum Island. And do you know the reason they shut down? Now, I shouldn't, like, talk too much about, because I don't want to, like, spoil this cool thing that I did. But I'll tell you guys some history about it. They were, like, experimenting or doing, it was like the CDC, essentially, is doing, like, disease testing and stuff. And they had so many different contamination breaches to where animals on the island, like deers and stuff and raccoons, whatever, were getting exposed to these, like, life-threatening diseases, like some of the most contagious viruses that you could deal with. And they had these different violations and stuff. So they ended up shutting it down. And they ended up getting fined. And there was all these, like, cover-ups and this and that. And they ended up moving to somewhere, like, in the middle of the country, like, you know, like Arkansas, or I don't know, maybe North Carolina, somewhere out in the rural area. And they have this, like, high-security testing facility. Yeah, for Lyme's disease, but also other stuff. They were dealing with all sorts of crazy strains of bacteria and viruses. And then there's, like, oh, there's the Montauk Monster and supernatural stuff. But in reality, it was just an old facility that was poorly run by some probably overpaid government workers. You know what I mean? And the fact to where you can have things like that, because this deer can swim from Montauk to, you know, or from places to Plum Island and back, and that's what they're worried about. Things like that is some sort of contaminate, or maybe rats or something could get on a ship, who knows. But then next thing you know, you got smallpox or something they're doing, whatever. But yeah, interesting. I did a bunch of different research on it while I was, like, coming up with this Halloween special idea. All right, what are we gonna do now? I feel like this isn't enough. Now, are we just going to take this, tie it, and then fold it back? We probably should. Is there anything that I want to put inside of this? Would that even help? Probably not really, right? You're just going to use the tubing. All right, let's do it. You know what I will do? I will use some of this. We will get a little tan and we'll get a little pearl going on right now. What am I doing? We're going here, we're clicking this. We're going to take a little bit of Senno's laser dub in tan and white, and we're just going to take some of this and break it down. We'll go top and bottom. Let's get something to break it up a little bit, the monotony. I shouldn't have said government workers. I should have said supervisors. They're probably, at that point, at that high a position, they're pretty much a politician. You know what I mean? When you're that deep. I'm not talking about the janitors or the just people, regular people working there. The Duffer Brothers dad? I don't know who that is. Isn't that the guys from The Simpsons? Were they the guys, did they make the beer? Duff Beer, is that the name of it? Was that the name of the beer in Simpsons? Duff Beer or something? Sounds right. Yo, what's up? We're the Duffer Brothers. Sound like a couple of TikTokers or something. Fort Detrick in Maryland, same situation regarding bioweapons. Yep. That's always a good time to think about, is some sort of facility with a crazy like anthrax or something. Oops, we forgot the door. There's just like monkeys running out of a freaking lab place like with like some sort of oopsie. They actually had something like that. I saw a YouTube short where there was this transport thing and the shipping container fell out, and it was there were these testing primates that were exposed to like some sort of disease, and they got free on the highway. They were just running around. The cops were like, "There's these damn monkeys running around on the street. What do we do?" There's like 10, 15 monkeys on the highway. All right. What was the name of the movie with this was in the 2000s and 90s. This dude, it was like it starts with a D, but you remember they had that one movie, it was Outbreak or something, where there was like a monkey and like they had to like, there was this virus or outbreak. It was in like the late 90s, early 2000. I'm trying to think of what other movie that guy was in. Dustin Hoffman, I think I want to say his name is. Potentially. I just remember that movie as a kid scared the crap. It made me scared of like those little macaws or those little monkeys. Outbreak, yeah, it was called Outbreak. Oh, that was in Danville, PA? Yeah, I saw a YouTube short. Oh, that was right, yeah, The state trooper or the cops were like, what the hell's going on? I'm in the market for advice, and I'm stuck between a Regal Revolution and the Dynaking Excalibur. I will be tying for fresh and salt in southern Louisiana. Any advice for a novice? Well, I got the Revolution here. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, mind you, I've probably tied about over 20,000 flies on this thing. It's got that, the brass has like a freaking patina on it from just over the years now. But I absolutely love it. This vise, it has grooves, right? So it's not a one size fit all. Most hook sizes will fit in the grooves. But once that hook is in the groove, I could take this hook right now and I could literally break it or bend it. And the vise isn't moving. Like maybe the vise itself might just slightly move a little bit, but the like, it will never slip and it will never falter. That being said, if you put a tiny hook in here and you don't have it sitting right and that jaw slips, it will literally break the hook in half. Like, that's how strong the tension is on the Regal, which is the reason I like it. The thing I like, there's no knob. So it's not like the old Renzetti Travelers that I used to have to flip the lever and then adjust the knob each time. I just do this. So when I'm tying hundreds of flies during peak season or thousands, whatever, this thing's great, right? I love this thing. And you can just swap the jaw out if you want to. This is the big game jaw. You can swap it out for a different jaw if you want, and you're good to go. So, and it's buttery smooth. But that being said, I mean, Dynacane's fantastic. It's another great brand. I've never tied on one personally because they were just always so expensive. I never got to have one over the years. The only other vise that I used, there were two other vices. The Renzetti Saltwater Traveler, which I used for the majority of my tying when I was younger, before I met the Don from Regal, the owner of Regal, and he built me this beautiful vise. And before that, there was the Dan vise, which was that plastic sort of vise that they sold at Orvis back in the 90s. It was like $80 back then. C-clamp style. But, I mean, I can't recommend the Regal enough. It's fantastic. So, it's a great vise. I actually need to clean it soon. So, my hands sweat like crazy, and I tie 8 hours a day. So, this is getting a little rusted here. It's just some like bare surface because I'm just slowly working off the finish and I use it so often. So something that I need to do every once in a while because I live right next to the ocean or right next to the bay. The salt water is so bad. My guitar strings rust like crazy. Like pretty much every week we used to change my guitar strings when I streamed on Twitch. We would play guitar once a week. But what I need to do is take some gun cleaning agent, like some sort of C's. I forgot what Don told me, but any sort of like gun protectant thing. I'm just going to wipe down the head of the vise and clean it off and stuff like that. So I forgot. Don told me the exact name. It was like T something. It sounded like the Terminator or something. There's some sort of gun cleaning oil and preservative that he uses. But I was using like CPC or whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. There's some sort of gun oil that I use for like my ARs and stuff when I actually used to afford ammunition to go to the range. But yeah, I forgot what the name of it is. He told me, I think I wrote it down somewhere, but it was something I've never heard of before. I'm sure you could probably maybe even use hoppers or something, or whatever it is. So, hey, thank you. Is it Micah or Mika? Is that how you pronounce it? But thank you. I'll call you Stuart. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And yeah, anytime. That's what we're here for. You know what I mean? That is what we're here for. Honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with either. And I always like to be upfront. Like, Don built me this, and he built me a replacement head recently. You know what I mean? Because mine was super beat up and worn out from being used for like 6 years of commercial fly tying every day. So we wanted like a nice new polished, purple finish for the handle and stuff. But, that even with that being said, whatever is best for you and whatever you feel like, of course, I don't think you can go wrong with any high quality fly tying vise nowadays. Because I'm not going to tell you that the Regal is superior to another vise, but I will say, what's the price? Because this is like $4 something, right? Like $420. So if it's like $700 or something more significant, or like $600, I would say get the Regal if you're going to save $150-$200. I don't think there's probably that much of a cost difference to where it's worth that much more for something else. Because other vices, this is their premium top of the line vise, made in Massachusetts. Forged or poured and everything and pressed, whatever the hell they do, in Massachusetts. If you don't know, Regal, they also do a ton of brass. So they're like a huge brass pouring and manufacturing place. So they do like all sorts of stuff, not just fly tying stuff. So they have this like whole complicated like metallurgy machine shop or something, or manufacturing place. But this is their top of this is their, and it's only 4 something, which back in the day, when in the 90s, some Dynakings were like $1,000, $800, and I remember being like, what the, or like, you know, $500-600 back in the 90s. That was a lot of money. Oh, you can't order ammunition online in New York State. You need to have it delivered to an FFL. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. Even though I'm the one getting wrecked. Yeah, no. You got to remember, I live in New York. Which we used to. I would order 1,000 rounds of Wolf 223 for like I think it was $100 and something bucks, $200 and something bucks. I forgot what it was. Now, mind you, it's changed, but we were even getting a nice discount and stuff. All right. If you know people, like you know an FFL. That being said, shooting guns for fun is way too expensive nowadays. So $400 for ammunition is like, just to give you I made like, after all the live streams, the videos and everything, I made like $160 off YouTube last month. You know what I mean? Between both channels or whatever, so. All right, so what I'm thinking is we tie this like this. We pinch it right here, and then we fold it back like this. Now, mind you, though, I will say it is. I kind of wish we had a little bit of a larger hook, but screw it. I could probably just like maybe fray this open a little bit, or even better, but that's okay. I loved going to the range and stuff, but I have so many hobbies. I do so many things. Everything's so expensive nowadays. It's hard to justify shooting $200 worth of ammunition with my buddies. You know what I mean? I remember one birthday, I think we probably went through about $120 worth of shotgun rounds, shooting skeet, and then probably $400 worth of 5.56. We just went through all of it. We're like, screw it, dude. We'll shoot all of it. We'll spend the whole day. Let's go through 1,000 rounds of 5.5 or 223, and we'll shoot skeet the rest of the day. And go home with a really sore shoulder after shooting shotguns for like 2 hours or 3 hours and shooting rifles for an hour or 2 hours, whatever, 3 hours. Yeah, well, of course, you gotta watch out. YouTube hates certain stuff, so. So I think what we do is now we just kind of have this where we have like a shell in a shell, right? And then we'll just maybe have some rabbit. See, I think I needed a larger hook for this, but that's okay. We're prototyping, if you will. So we could probably just cut it somewhere around here. All right. Yeah, I gravitated towards bows because I got into bow hunting, so I shoot recurves and longbows. I don't really get to do it anymore because my backyard is so small. It's like a pain. But I kind of was like, all right, screw it. I'll just buy myself a beautiful recurve and I'll just shoot that all day in my backyard. Yeah, it's 50 cents every trigger pull. It's a Regal Vice to shoot. Yeah. Think about that. A case of ammunition, you could buy a Regal Vice. That's wild. So what I think I'm going to do here is cut some slits, and this hopefully will just make it easier to actually tie this. It's not going to bunch up as much. Yeah, so I kind of wish this was like a freaking 6-odd hook. You know what I mean? Yo, Brew! Thank you for the 72 months, my friend. Round of applause in the chat. Come on. Get those Albie emotes if you got them. Thank you, my friend. Very, 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 very kind to you. Thank you for the support as usual. I'm going to wrap this down. We probably should tie this back a little bit, if we can. If we can. Beans, bullets, band-aids. Whoa, yo, Michael Stewart. Thank you for the brand new membership. Round of applause, chat. With the coffee fund tier. Thank you, sir. I actually stopped drinking coffee, but I will use that for the green tea that I drink now every morning. So thank you, my friend. I should change it with the coffee fund tier, and we do have some emotes, and also we have the brand new video that is out now for members, which you can go check out. Right here. The Easy Zonker by Dave Skoke is out now, early access for members, so enjoy the early access. Now, normally, most YouTube channels, Djibouti Show's playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Mutant Ninja Turtles mod, hell yeah. Most channels will put like videos out like a week in advance or something. I usually just do it a day, maybe half a day in advance. Just as a little thank you. But again, I appreciate it. Yo, what's going on, Leans? How you doing? 7mm, 3 to 4 each. What are you shooting with a 7mm? Is that like Mauser ammunition or something? What the hell is that? Oh, dude, Rev, I made a shrine deck because I was gonna make a shrine deck. From Avatar, they have 5 shrines, legendary shrines that came out. And I was going to make one with, that this other dude did. Had way more mythics and rares, and then I saw somebody else with a video. So I was like, oh, this has a lot more cards that I already have, so I don't need to craft as much. And, it is absolutely wild. It is. I have to. You have to try it against your deck, and you should just see what the amount of triggers that go off with this deck. It's crazy. Because everyone's ready for the lessons deck, but nobody's like, I guess, expects this. But anyways, it was hilarious. Some guy got so upset he was like spamming your go with me, and then he rage quit. But it was. It was hilarious, the amount of triggers going off on the stack. All right. How are we going to do this? I like the idea here of putting some rabbit strips and laying them on the side and gluing it. We're definitely going to do that. I don't know how he does it. I guess we're going to use some UV resin, I want to say. Maybe flex resin? Or I guess you could use... maybe we'll do some, what do you call it? Some E6000 and then UV resin on top. I don't know. We'll see. Let's try it out. Yeah, I don't know. Now we got this, like, tube in a tube thing going on. Maybe there should have been more fluff here. We should have put more fluff there. You know what I mean? And I think this should be on just a much larger hook in general. Boo! Boo me. Boo you. Boo you and your stupid black deck. What do you got? Bunch of discard going on or something? The guy was playing some black deck earlier and he was like exiling all of my cards and then playing my shrines. I was like, screw you, I quit. This is bullshit. Alright. So I think what we're going to do is take some of these and lay them on the side of the, like this. Perhaps, perchance, per maybe. I mean, screw it, we're going to try it. Obviously, I think this should have been like a 6-odd. Maybe some lead wire in there too, but I don't know. You know, and we'll throw this in the tank. You know what I mean? We'll throw it in the tank. Luckily, I'm not a fly designer, right? So we're good there. I'm confused with the 7mm. Are we talking about ammunition? Or are we talking about freaking tubing or something? What are we talking about? Yeah, but what sort of... oh, maybe you can't even type the profile. The thing is YouTube censoring you that bad? What the hell shoots a 7mm? 7mm? This is America. The hell you talking about 7mm? What is it, a rifle or something? Yeah, I mean, 22 is always great. 22 is a lot of fun. Rev's got a nice 22 rifle. Blink, 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 blink. Ah, it's Mauser. Okay. German. Gotcha. That's a German round, right? Mauser round? I think there was some dude that used to come to the range. He'd bring like a freaking Car 98, a Mauser, a Mosin, a freaking SKS. Well, what are you talking about? Reloading your own ammo or something? That's all I mean, that's a whole nother thing, dude. I don't know. That's... I imagine if you're shooting 458 SOCOM, then probably. Who knows how expensive something like that is. Yo, what's going on, Traveler? How's your live streams been going? It was an Argentine Mauser and a Spanish Mauser. Oh, okay. Wasn't that, though, originally a... was the Mauser not a German rifle? Isn't that it? Or is it different? Alright. I don't know how we're going to glue this. What's the best way of doing this? Also, I don't... You know what? In reality, we probably don't need the fins to be this long. So let's cut them in half. As well. Something like that. I'm going to try E6000. And then we can go with a little bit of resin. I should ask Bill how the hell he did this part. Because they're actually glued pretty good on there. Man, now this bottle's going to be freaking oozing out glue the whole time. I feel like E6000 might actually not be a bad option for this. And we got to cap this freaking... this this glue off, because otherwise it'll just keep pumping out the entire time. Yeah, I wish I had a Mosin or something cool, man. I should have got one way back, or an SKS or something. The problem is SKS, we can't have. You have to have the bayonet lug taken off in New York State. But I would love a Mosin or something. But nowadays they're so expensive. Back in the day, they were like $25 or something. I mean, I wasn't alive or old enough to have one back then, but just knowing that they were like $50 to $100, and now people are selling them for like $600-800 for a freaking Mosin. It's probably ready to blow up. Reloading became like fly tying. Yeah, I'm over here. I'm like, oh, we can't shoot ammunition. Meanwhile, they're charging me $16 a freaking bucktail. I should just be going to the range, shooting 5.56. I'm over here tying freaking $16 bucktail teasers or something. Yeah, well, 400 rounds of 4.58 SOCOM, I mean, yeah. That's a lot of high-end ammunition. For sure. They're doing well. Thanks for the shout-outs, getting more subs daily. Yeah, dude, I saw you've been getting some good views. I see you doing the vertical streams. I think that's probably why... I mean, obviously, you're killing it and you're tying awesome flies, but you're getting, like, some good viewer numbers and stuff. I think the vertical helps with that. I just can't do it, but... I think with that, you're being... like, it's showing your stream to a lot of people, it looks like. So you're doing really good. So keep it up, dude. CLP is what I'm talking about? Yeah. I forgot what the name is. Yeah, you probably need to speed it up, doggy. Do a refresh. But, because that is the one downside to YouTube, is that there seems to be some sort of lag or delay that happens, even though I have my stuff set up so there's no lag or delay, but it's just, it happens. This is easy body tubing, yeah. So this is the original stuff, Traveler. Like, they sell knockoff stuff, but this is the original stuff. This is Easy Body. Shout out to Easy Body. We actually had Bill from Easy Body reach out, and he sent me a bunch of different stuff to play with and try out. So, I mean, you've seen me use their materials over the years on the channel. Pretty much since the start of this channel, we've been using either Bill's Body Braid, and I specifically buy Bill's Body Braid, not the knockoff flat diamond braid that you can get at fly shops, because there is a difference in the quality. And then the Easy Body as well. So I'll even show you. You can get something like this. This you can get at the dollar store. They sold this at the dollar store. But there is a difference. This is more like that electrical tubing crap, compared to, which it has its own applications, but it's just different than the actual Easy Body, which is like way better quality material. So, all right, and now we can palmer something at the front for some movement, and yeah, I almost feel like we should have put some lead wire, but I don't know. We'll throw it in the swim tank. We'll see what it swims like. More than likely, we should have put a heavy lead keel, just to ensure that this that the fly swims properly. But it's all right. You know what? Screw it. Let's go with this 3-inch Foxy dubbing brush. I pulled this out specifically for that. Yeah, I mean, if you can't, you know, I always recommend using the Easy Body, right? So, but I've used. There's been times where I've used the knockoff stuff and whatnot, but you'll see there's definitely a quality. There's a difference in the quality for sure. Doesn't mean you can't use the other stuff, but like and especially with the the Bill's body braid. It's amazing how there's a difference between flat diamond mylar, you know what I mean? But there really is. Because I could easily just buy the cheap knockoff stuff from my local tackle shop or something, but there's a reason why I buy these big spools from saltwaterflies.com. Because, for instance, when I'm tying hundreds and hundreds of flies, like wrapping the mylar over and over again for surf candies over and over and over again, you start to notice the difference in the quality of stuff and like how it frays or doesn't fray and vice versa. So, that being said, you can use whatever you like, obviously. Where the hell is my brush? That's what I'm looking for here. Thank you. I'm like, I must have, that's crazy. I moved it over there. That's a rare spot for the brush, but I was like, I'm going crazy over here. Where the hell did I put this thing? I want to brush this out because it's just been sitting for a while, so. There we go. Yo, Kawaii Monsters. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I got 2 beast flies out of a $30 bucktail, and it was my first 2. Yep. That sounds about right. It's not cheap. There's a reason why I don't tie those things. Somebody recently asked me about beast flies. I'm like, listen, dude. Like, you gotta, like, just reach out to Andrew Warshaw or somebody, because like beast flies, it's like a freaking specialized art. And not only that, you need the right bucktails, this and that. It costs a bunch of money. I mean, there's a reason why people charge like $80 a beast fly. Like, if you're not charging $60 to $70 for a beast fly, then you're losing money, honestly. You're just giving them away. That's why I like pretty much refuse to tie them, because it's so freaking expensive. I could tie like so many other flies in the amount of time I tie one. And there's 15 other people that tie way better beast flies than me, so I'll just let them do it. Those are like ultra high quality premium flies. How we're doing? Well, we're doing all right. That being said, I'll tie beast flies for myself and stuff, right? But maybe should we like thin this out a little bit? Yeah. Sure, why not? Let's thin it out just a skosh. Oh, my thread's getting a little funky here. Let's wrap this up. Yeah, so this needs to be on like a larger hook, I think. But see, the tubing was like, I like the tubing back there, but it's a little large for. But I mean, it does kind of freaking that's pretty spot on for like a squid. Maybe the dubbing brush in the front was a little over the top for a 3-inch. Maybe if we had a 1.5-inch dubbing brush. But then again, I mean, it kind of blends together nice. I remember hearing about this guy robbing a museum of birds to make fly. Yeah. Well, I don't think they were fly tying. I think what they were doing is they specifically stole a bunch of feathers that were extremely expensive feathers to sell. But I don't think they robbed it. They robbed that museum. It was a museum somewhere in England or somewhere like that, and it was this museum of like showing preserved bird species or whatever, and they had all these feathers and stuff. Andrea is very good. Andrea ties great beast flies. There's Paul Monahan in the UK who ties great, or over on that side. I don't know exactly where he's located. Ties great beast flies. But in the United States, my favorite beast fly tires, I'll tell you right now. Andrew Warshot, which is Andrew's Custom Flies in New Jersey. In my opinion, he's the best beast fly tire in the world. That's just me. I think he's the best. And he's a New Jersey native, but he's just killer. If you haven't checked out Andrew's Custom Flies on Instagram, in my opinion, and I've known him for a very long time, he's the best beast fly tire in the world. Especially after Bob Popovic passed away. Rupert Harvey, another great one, great fly tire. I believe is he in England or he's in Ireland? I always forget if Doc's here. But in the U.S., you got Ben Wally. Okay, Ben Wally's fantastic. He's like very famous. I think he's like $100 a beast fly or something like that. But I don't even think he ties them for people. And then you have, let's see, you have Jason Taylor as well, which Jason is another fantastic. He's good friends with Andrew as well. And let's see who else in the U.S. And then there's dudes like Predator Prey Flies. He ties some sick flies as well. But really, Andrew, in my opinion, is the best. And that's not throwing shade to anyone else. They're all extremely... It's like saying, like, you know, is Michael Jordan better than Kobe, better than LeBron, better than, you know, freaking Allen? They're all, like, amazing. You know what I mean? So it's just, like, who you think is, like, in your opinion, ties the best ones. But, yeah. And each one has their own style and stuff. And that's the thing. I really was like, am I going to like be a beast fly tire? And then I'm like, nope, I'm just going to tie 1,000 surf candies instead of 20 beast flies. And that's how I'll make my money. I'm an idiot. But I'm going to be honest with you. I can't tie hollow flies like these guys. These guys, it's like all they tie is freaking hollow flies. That's all they do is tie bucktail hollow flies. And you can tell they're some of the best hollow fly tires in the world. So, and I can't tie on that level. And, you know, that being said, I can do 5 million different flies, and I tie 5 million different flies commercially. You know what I mean? So that's the route I went. Instead of like perfecting one singular thing, I'm just going to do everything. You know what I mean? So I forgot the phrase. What was it? A master of none, but something of many. Whatever that phrase is, you guys probably know what it is. All right, I'm gonna put some flex resin, I think, on the eyes. Is what I'm gonna do. We could use regular resin, I think, but I think I'm gonna try the flex resin. Somebody knows that phrase. What's that phrase? Nah, he's just on Instagram. He doesn't make videos or anything like that. It's Andrew's Custom Flies on Instagram. I think he's a welder by trade. I think he was dealing with cancer, though, recently. So I don't know if he's been welding or not again recently, but... And tying flies. Well, when you could charge $80 to $100 a fly or something, then, you know. But mind you, like, again, you're going to use $30 worth of bucktail, possibly $20 worth of bucktail. Not that you're going to use the whole thing, but there's only so much good bucktail on a bucktail that you can use for these things. You know what I mean? A jack of all trades, a master of none. Yes, thank you, Calvin and Traveler. Very good, very good. And thank you, Kawhi. Yes. A jack-off of all trades. That was it. That's what I am. That's the phrase. All right. Damn it, I'm not downloading that awful app again. Oh, what, Instagram? Yeah, I know. I'll show you some of his. If you give me a sec, I'll show you guys his Instagram. We'll look it up. Instagram is literally all AI garbage now. It's all AI regurgitated posts where it's a post that shows something that's just reposting someone's stuff. And then it's like Japanese piezo floor electronic tiles. They heat their floors with piezo tiles or something. It's like it has nothing to do with the actual post. And it's some chat GPT paragraph. Like, I don't know. It's kind of just gone to absolute crap. But I use it for fly tying, so. And I've had a lot of people order flies there over the years. Probably more than any other way, so there's a good amount of people that use it for fly fishing and fly tying, so it's really the only reason I use it. But when I still scroll through it from time to time, and I'm just overloaded with AI garbage. That, and then just brain rot stuff. But I do get really nice stuff where they show me pit bulls, like pit bulls like laying on a couch or something, you know, smiling. And the other only two things that I look at or have followed is car stuff, because I was very big into cars. I was a mechanic for years, and I also drifted. I have a Nissan 240, even though it's rotted to hell and I need to junk it. And so I was super into cars, so I see like drifting and car stuff, Japanese stuff in particular, and then fly fishing. So I see a lot of fly tying and fly fishing stuff, which I just I think I shared it, or if I not, I need to. Baja Angling, or Angling Baja, who one of the captains in Baja that is part of this organization of guides or whatever, this business, he watches our streams. You'll see him sometimes on YouTube, Santios Fishing or something. And dude, they just posted the craziest video of just like 10 different sailfish in front of their boat, just thrashing on the surface, and he throws his fly out there and hooks one right on the surface, and you could see this fish like 30 feet below the boat just going crazy, and he's just fighting it. It was one of the coolest videos I've ever seen. I have to reshare it. I think I did. I don't know if I did or not, but I'll post it on my Instagram. But dude, I'll make sure to share it in Discord. It was absolutely crazy. That was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen, that footage that he just posted. Yep. Yeah, no, you made the right choice. Don't worry. Especially when other countries are using social media as literal like forms of like cyber war against us by destabilizing us. But anyways. So there we go. There's our squid fly. I think I am going to thin this stuff out just a little bit randomly. Yeah, I mean, have you seen the amount of Russian bots on YouTube? If you go to any sort of relevant thing to do with that, what's going on that side of the world, it's crazy. All right. Let's throw this sucker in the tank, I guess, and see how it goes. Now, I don't know what I did with the monofilament. That's the only issue. Is it on the table? I might actually need to go like all right, give me a sec. I'm going to go cut a piece of leader off one of my fly reels downstairs or something. Give me 1 second, chat. We are going to take a break, but we're not doing it yet. I need to grab some leader material. Okay. Let's throw it in the swim tank, shall we? Yeah, I think we need the right hook. We probably want to use like a big 6-odd hook for something like this, to be honest with you. For a fly like this, you probably want a much larger hook, but let's see how it swims. I don't know. This is what, 20-pound fluorocarbon? I just cut this off one of my fly rods downstairs. That's it, broken down for the winter. Then we'll throw this in the swim tank. We'll put some tunes on, and then I'll go take a break, stretch my back out. Because I'm turning into an old man. I'm 36 now. Or no, 35. Jesus. Not 36. I'm 35. Give me one more year before I break that plateau. But I need to stand up and move around every once in a while. Otherwise my back starts hurting. Alright. I need to plug this thing in. Remember to hydrate. Oh, I'm way ahead of you. Isn't that right, Jerry? Get another couple of White Claws going. Yeah, we're partying tonight. That's right. Make sure to take my keys. Whoa, 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 whoa. This stupid thing, dude. Yo, what's the name of that freaking company that makes this thing? I forgot. But if you guys want to send me another one, or more of these little plastic dimples, that would be great, because this thing is... doesn't look very good when I have a freaking, what you'll see in a sec. Not very professional looking. But that's okay. I'm not very professional in general, if you guys have ever watched my stream before, so. There's a reason why Sims hasn't sponsored me yet. It's because I actually don't look good in their underwear, unfortunately. But also, I'm not very advertiser friendly, you know what I mean? I got a little bit of a potty mouth. You know, we like the greenery. I don't wear button-up shirts. You know what I mean? Also, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just blabbering at this point. Just give me a sec. I'll get this set up. Get that going. Now we pop this out. And check this sucker out. You like that? You like them apples? Haha! You like them apples? There's little plastic dimples that sit under there that's supposed to squeeze the tube, but of course over time it just wore out. And then they just started falling off, so that was fun. Alright, let's move this, move that, get this, do that, move that. Oh yeah. Now, again, you could see, I think a larger hook and some lead keel would help. But this is how we learn, you know what I mean? It is struggling flipping over, and that's also due to just the sheer size of the easy body. So we could probably tie another one with the smaller tubing possibly, but also just adding a lead keel would drastically help. Now, if we stick it back further, though, it also is harder to get bigger flies like this to actually swim properly and keel, because a lot of times you need, like, a proper leader set up to turn a fly over. So this is just some 20-pound fluoro that's in a foot long. It struggles at turning flies over at that time, but like we knew, we wanted a larger hook and all that, but you could see what we're dealing with here, and especially once we get it in the current, I mean, like, these tentacles work pretty freaking good when it comes to the movement that's in them. Yeah. So you can see, I think we just need to use the smaller tubing or a larger hook. So probably what we'll do is we'll tie another one after this, but we use the smaller tubing, the proper size. So what you do is you bump this up to an 8-odd or a 6-odd, and you throw some lead keeling on there, and then this thing will turn over properly. So, but I do like the concept of it, like the tubing like this and all that, and whatnot. And even if the fly doesn't turn over absolutely fine, I mean, you could throw this thing, you're gonna have no, like, you're gonna catch fish, right? Just as long as it doesn't spin on you is the main thing. Can we get it to sit? Yeah, it doesn't look half bad though. It's what we're really looking for is the action and the movement. We definitely got some action and movement in there. All right, chat. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have this squid swimming for you guys for a little bit with some music. And I'm going to go stretch my legs real quick. And I'll be back in, just give me a couple minutes here. About 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe 3 minutes at most. And we'll be tying another fly, all right? So I appreciate it. I'm just going to go hit the hookah lounge real quick and hit the restroom. I'll be back in just a sec, all right? Let me start the tunes up for you here for you guys. And we'll bump it up. Turn it up, Jerry. Turn it up now. Come on. All right, chat. I'll be back in just a moment, all right? We'll tie some more squid flies when we get back. And we're back. Okay. Thank you for being patient, chat. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I like it. I think on a larger hook, keeled properly, it'll do just nicely. It'll do just fine. Alright, I guess we could have it in the background. Why not, huh? Why not? Do you guys hear it vibrating? Like, I have a little music in the background. You don't hear the pump, right? Because it's somewhat noisy at this point. After years of use. As long as you guys don't hear it in the background. Alright. Let's go ahead and tie another one. This time, let's try it. Let's try and do it the way he did. Now, mind you, the legs are quite long, right? That's the only issue. Like, they're substantially different. We could trim them a little. Let's just do it. We'll try it. The way it was tied. In one shot. Maybe we can trim some of them. Or something. Alright. So yeah, we're just gonna do it on one piece instead of being multiple. We'll see how it works. And we'll use some smaller tubing, I think, this time. Right? Yeah, let's try it like this. Probably tie these so they actually stick kind of far back. Now we want a little rabbit strip, and then we'll tie these. Then we put the easy body. Okay, not too bad. Because we're going for, the whole idea is this fly right here is not imitating the larger squid that you get. It's a different squid species. This is the short fin squid. So we'll try and tie one that's like this, but a larger version of the short fin squid, just like by an inch or so, inch and a half difference there, you know. This time we are going to use tan. We got some tan rabbit strip. We'll take this and we'll tie this right off the back like that. We don't want it to be too long. Yeah, these are nice. I'm going to have to get some larger hooks and tie some. I don't really do enough fishing with squids, though. But we could tie these for people that do fish around squids. We'll tie him for Zeke. Whenever Zeke goes fishing when I'm not there, he catches something. I'm sure he'll get on a squid run. If I'm not there. Does anybody else have that? The classic... as long as you're not there, the fishing's amazing. And then you show up, the fishing's, oh, you should have been there. It's like the story of my life nowadays. Except with the Albies. The Albies cooperate. But the Albies know me, you know what I mean? From my videos. I like to think. I'm famous with the Albies. My only blessing. Let's go ahead and put the crystal flash before we tie the tentacle. Let's try that. Now we do the tentacles. And you know what I'm going to do? We're going to put a lead keel on this one as well. We are going to put a lead keel on this. Just to, if I'm fishing squid flies, and more than likely I'm fishing on a boat, I might be fishing with a full sinking line as well. You know what I mean? Capiche? Alright. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good like that. So... pretty much want something like this. Part of me really does want to use the larger tubing, but I mean, it's just quite large. So we're going to try the smaller size. And I think maybe we just cut a slit. Like that. And we do something like this. And that'll be... And then we're going to tie it off. We'll fold it back, yada, yada, yada. So maybe we'll cut this a little bit longer here. Okay. Now we whip finish. It's actually a pretty easy fly to tie in reality. Little super glue. Just to make it nice and durable as usual. Usual, I should say. This is one of my favorite things nowadays, is taking a piece of stiff like paper from the packaging and wiping the super glue like this. That's just something I started doing after tying all these roosterfish flies, and it just makes my commercial fly tying so much nicer. I know they have accelerant sprays you can spray on super glue. The less amount of things I need to spray in the air, chemicals, the better for me. Let's go ahead and put a lead keel on first. Might be. Let's keel it up. Even though we probably don't need to with this tubing, I think it's something we should do. Just in general, if this was a pattern that I was tying, for instance, or creating, vice versa, whatever. I would want a keel on a squid fly like this. Pretty much just something like that. Just to help ensure that the fly is going to sink evenly and properly. And it also makes the fly somewhat easier to cast in reality. I need to make a freaking video on that, on the effect of adding weight to flies. It should be a very interesting video as well, just in general. This is somewhat quite long. It's going to fold back. Let's cut it like that. Squid in the spring, bass was on him? Hell yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like you need a boat, right? And even out here in the bay that I'm in, Zeke, I don't want to spot burn or dox myself. You know what bay I'm in. Or the ocean, off the ocean here. It's not like we really get like squid runs or something, but it's probably like maybe the right time and place you could see it. There were a couple of places like where it's like you're 2-3 miles offshore and there's some old wrecks, and we were jigging up squid and then shark were eating them. But so I'm sure there's like bass eating squid, but I don't think it's that common of a thing out there. That looks nice. I like that. Could have cut it probably a little shorter so I didn't waste any easy body, but we can just cut that easy body off and use it for something else in reality. So no worries. Let's go ahead and glue the eyes on here now. Yeah, that seems like the right course of action. And I'm going to use these big ones again, because we could fit them on there. So, also, my buddy Aiden, who is going to the Caribbean, he came and picked up the flies the other day. Shout out. And I told him, and he said he will. He's going to send photos or something. I said either post them in the Discord or send them to me, but he's going to send some photos, hopefully, of him catching fish over the next couple of years on our flies. or just in general, because he's going to be going on the trip of a lifetime. But we tied all those bonefish flies. We had Mr. Cowan in the chat and all that, and we tied some shrimp scampies. We did this and that. He came and picked up all those flies, the tarpon flies. So he's going to be traveling the world for 2 years fishing, and bringing his fly rod along with him. So hopefully he does pretty good. I think we're going to make these eyes round first. Oop. That was a little too round, I guess. But I got to finish up. I have some more commercial stuff I'm doing, but I think I'm going to start working on Angler's Marketplace flies. So we're probably going to start tying some flies for this website, Angler's Marketplace, and it's like an eBay, but for fly tyers and lure makers, where they can, it's like they handle that back end, but you can sell your stuff on there. So we're going to start tying some flies there. So people do want to, you do want to support the stream, but you don't want to like freaking donate to the channel, but you want, you know, you can buy some flies or something like that to help, you know, keep the bills running here, the lights on. So, but we're going to be doing that soon. So, because they actually reach out to me, the people that run it, and they've been trying to get me to put stuff on there. So we're going to be doing that here at some point. I've been getting around to it though. So we got a new video coming out tomorrow, and I already want to start working on the next video, which maybe will be some sort of squid fly like this, but maybe it'll be something else. I might order the right materials first. So the goal is, like, I'm trying to kick it up a notch. I'm not overbearing. I don't want to overdo it, because it can be quite overwhelming trying to do like 3 videos a week, but I'm trying to up the ante and like definitely make more videos this year and hit it pretty hard. So the idea is in the future, hopefully, that, I mean, already YouTube is helping paying my bills, but you know, between fly tying and making fly tying videos and fly fishing and videos and stuff like that, is to pretty much have YouTube be like partially like full time for me. So I'm gonna go pretty hard with making videos and all that. So I'm going to start asking the community more and more on posts and stuff on what sort of content they want to see on the channel. But, you know, I do like the idea. We should actually do something here, like a little hackle, because when we fold it back, I like that. But so if you guys have any ideas on what sort of videos you want to see, what sort of flies, but it's more than just flies. We can do videos on materials, on techniques. I got to start, you know, jotting down lists and stuff like that. We gotta, you know, YouTube is a thing where you have to stay pretty active. So I gotta stay on top of things. So I don't know. We'll see what the next video is. I have a couple different ideas, but and I had some folks request flies a while back. I wrote them down. So wintertime's a great time for this, for me to do a bunch of different tying videos and whatnot. Oh, we should glue these eyes first. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it, and thank you for the support as well. And watching every video and leaving a comment and all that means a lot. So it tells me like who's my the people who comment the most on my channel, and you have like a little crown next to you in my YouTube studio. Because you've you what do you call it? You're one of my top commenters, so I appreciate that. The anyone using their hype points, that's made a big difference too. So shout out to the people using their hype points. That's when the video comes out, but that's a thing that YouTube started doing. It's free. It's actually 3 hypes a week. I thought it was 5 a day, but apparently it's 3 a week. But they might have changed it actually since they released it. But we've had people been hyping the videos and stuff like that, and it's been promoting it. So it's just a free way of like helping promote videos you enjoy. So it's made a big difference. All right. Hold that there while we use the bodkin real quick, and then I'll jam it back in the tank. Professional fly tying streamer, by the way. And we're using flex resin, because I really feel like on the easy body like this, using regular resin, it might crack over time. The camera wasn't in focus. Professional fly tying streamer, by the way. So this new Loon Mega Lamp was sick, dude. It's working great. Been working good. Mind you, it was $70. You know what I mean? But it's pretty good, huh? Alright. Now we can palmer. Because look, now we can do this. See, it squishes, it moves. It's not going to break. Flex resin. Very nice. Again, waiting for Solarez to hit me up and send me 55-gallon drums of medium, thin, and flex resin any day now. Well, thank you. I mean, honestly, the best way you could support our YouTube channel is just by watching, like, for instance, the stream, liking the stream or whatever. I don't say it all the time because I really don't like being like that aggressive with like the video, do this and that. But leaving a comment, like in the video, hyping it means a lot. So I try to be very subtle with that stuff because, you know, I think it gets to be a lot nowadays on YouTube. Yo, Frosty, Twitch Prime.
Also, Sawzalls.
Also, Sawzalls. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with a good Milwaukee, a good DeWalt Sawzall to cut down a tree. When you should use a chainsaw, you can have a Sawzall. You can do other things with them, but I'm not going to talk about it, but get yourself a VR headset and a Sawzall. That's right. Round of applause, everybody. Thank you, Frosty. Appreciate that. Oh, what we're going to do is we're going to rip the marabou on the sides in front of the eyes, like so. And now when we fold it back, beautiful. Muy bien. Hey, now we're cooking. Now we are cooking. All right, so this is the thing, right? We don't want it to pinch. We want it to... We don't want it to fold. And if we want that width for that squid, you can always manipulate the easy body. This is why it's nice. It actually freaking holds its shape pretty good. You can just pull on it. Squid, oh yeah. Yeah, this is one from the owner of Easy Body. This is his pattern. Short fin squid flies. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what we are going to do now is we can do the rabbit strips off the side because that does look really freaking sick. So we're going to cut some short fins though for our short fin squid. Kind of glue it like this. Very short pieces we're just going to trim. Kind of like so. And we'll glue it right on the side. to get those lateral fins. I don't know what is it the dorsal? No, dorsal's top. What's the side of pectoral squid fins? I don't know if they are called pectoral fins because it's like the way their body is shaped, but maybe it is the pectoral fin of a squid. Lateral? Is it a lateral fin? Is there a fin expert? We have dorsal on top. What's pectoral? Is pectoral the small fins in the back? What's the side of the... No, I think pectoral fins are the fins off the side. Like on a shark. Is that the pectoral fins? There's got to be somebody that is far more intelligent than me in chat that knows about fins. I just always get them mixed up. All right, let's go ahead and tie this section on now. Also, let's get some tunes going. I don't know if it's the lateral. I don't think I've ever heard the term lateral fins. That's the only reason why I'm doubting that. Lateral is the right way of describing the fins that are going sideways if you're just talking about angles. But I'm trying to think of the terminology for the fins and all that. And whatnot. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and tie this here. I'm actually going to trim this ever so slightly. Also, I mean, Rev's probably watching. Somebody commented, I got to look it up, but they said MMGs benefit from +1 in close range from being a heavy weapon or something like that. And then HMGs get -1 from long range or something, but I gotta look it up. I've never heard that before. The fin lobe. All right, now we gotta look it up. What the hell? Chat normally knows everything. No, don't give me AI mode. Screw your AI mode. This looks like a highly professional. Here we go. Ah, yes, the anal fin. Yeah, pectoral is on the sides. Pelvic is underneath there. The dorsal is up top. Lateral line for the sides. But yeah, the pectoral fins are on the sides. It's just for like... Even the pectoral fins on a dolphin or something is what it applies for. It's just the name of the fins on the side of the fish. And the rear, the tail, is called the caudal fin, apparently. Okay, there we go. Dorsal, top side of fish. Ventral, bottom side of fish. Okay. And then the anal fin. Round of applause. How would you fish that off the rocks or the beach? What I would do is, let's say you're fishing an inlet or something. I would use a sinking line or something, and I would fish this in fast-moving water near open bodies, like where the ocean flows or in the surf or something. Now, mind you, squids a lot of times, the other things is you could fish them in back bays, fish them near commercial fishing docks where big boats dock, harbors. You find squids generally in deeper water, deeper bodies of water, and at nighttime around lights. So they'll actually predate on like silversides and shrimp and stuff like that. So from shore, it's not like you're going to necessarily find squid runs depending on where you are in the country, but you can try and find areas where you can maximize your chances of squid actually being, like harbors, deep bays, or like places where marinas are and stuff like that, where it's like, you know, it's dredged and it's like 20-30 foot deep in these channels in these urban areas with lights, things like that. On squids, they're called the wings. Oh yeah, they're called the wings. That makes sense. But do they not actually call them fins? Let's type this. side fins on squids. Side fins on squids. What are they called? Side fins. Yeah, but what's the name? Just call it the fins because they only have fins. Jesus Christ, look at that cephalopod. That thing's crazy. I guess they just call them fins. Wings, also known as wings. Sometimes known as wings. So yeah, wings or just fins. They're not actually like pectoral. They're just main or secondary fins. Interesting. Dude, squid are crazy. Talk about a crazy creature, huh? Absolutely wild. They're also pretty intelligent, I think. Squid are really cool. Alright, we're gonna put some E6000 and then, yeah. The E6000 seems like it's working. We didn't even let it fully cure, and it's dry. It's glued perfectly on the side of these things, so we should use it here. Are squid fins different, though? It seems like they do not refer to them as pectoral fins. That seems to be something that is related to specifically fish or mammals or something. I don't know. Because I'm pretty certain they call a dolphin's side fins pectoral fins. Maybe it has to do with the fact that these are invertebrate creatures and they're just different. Because you would think like, well, why don't they call the side fins on a squid? Well, maybe it's the only fin as well. Because they literally only have these side fins. They don't have any other fins on their body. Except some seem to have secondary fins, but it's like the same thing. It's like the same sort of fin setup, just a little bit elongated or separated. It's not like they have a top one, a bottom one, a rear, front one, you know, like you would with a fish, to where you need all these different these different names for the different fins when you're describing it. It seems like there's just one fin on a squid. Or wings. So you learn something new every day. That's why we, you learn something new on this, maybe not on this stream. I don't know about learning something new. Maybe fly tying related, but usually we're not that educational. I will say I'm going to let this one dry, though. This thing looks sick. We need to let it dry for a minute. This is going to swim much better, by the way. Now, the other one's swimming not too bad either, to be honest with you. It's not swimming half bad. It kind of keeled itself over time. But ideally, yeah, that lead keel is going to definitely help. For sure. We'll let this dry for a minute. Let's take a look at the Discord and what you folks have been up to. Well, actually, let's real quick. Let's get some close-ups of the squid fly. Are we still live? Yeah. What's going on, Anathasio? How you doing? What's up? What's up? How you doing? Look at our wings, chat. Look at the wings. Yuck, Alvin. Sinking line. And erratic strips. I don't know. When you actually get into actual squid, the squid behavior and things like that, it's a whole nother story. But or you could just fish it slow, swing it in the current. We'll just go Shady Lady style with black and white. I don't have a brown marker. You just want to be random and you don't want to do it too much, right? But you just want to go like, you don't want it to be like perfect. You want to be random when it comes to dots like this on creatures like this. It's part of their natural camouflage. Okay, beautiful. I like that. Do you tie crabs with Easy Body? Oh yeah, you can. We should definitely do that. We'll probably do that like next week is what we're going to do. We could try. Because they have those Alfonso type crabs or whatever. And they have that like electrical style tubing, but you can do it with Easy Body as well. In fact, I mean, Easy Body was kind of what was around originally. And then people figured out you can use that stuff. But I kind of like the Easy Body more, so. Yeah, that might be a cool thing to do next week is tie some crab flies with something like that, for sure. I gotta say, I like gluing those wings off the side. That really adds to the... Because, I mean, the wings are very prevalent on a squid. You know what I mean? But yeah, what you could do with the... for a crab is you could take something like this. Like this is the Easy Body natural tubing like this, the flex tubing. And then you just essentially kind of get the crab fly. You could do something like an Alfonso. Remind me next week. You know what? I'm going to write it down. We'll do... Easy Body crab flies next week for our next stream, and that's what we'll focus on. I've been trying to be more like focused in terms of like, all right, we're gonna do the Easy Body, or we're gonna do the squid flies, or we're gonna do tarpon flies today or something, you know, instead of just kind of like, whoa, what do I do? Easy Body crab flies, flex tubing. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll play around with it. I'll look up some different flies and stuff, and I'll get some materials dug out so that way we're ready for it and good to go. You know what I mean? Because I haven't really played around with too many crab flies like that. Like this is probably the first time I've tied a squid, or this might honestly genuinely be the first time I've tied a squid fly like this. So it's fun to kind of experiment and play around because I don't really tie these sort of flies that often. You see me, I tie, you know, bucktail deceivers, flat wings, things like that. So I don't really play around with this sort of stuff a lot in this regard. I would use it traditionally just tying candies and then using Bill's body braid for wrapping on the shank, for instance, right? So it's cool to experiment with this sort of stuff. You don't really see me use this sort of stuff a lot because, you know, I'm not going to spend, you know, money on different types of materials a lot of times when I need bucktail, I need marabou, I need this, I need that, and I'm tying commercially. So I just use what I have because I have so much materials. But I'm not going out of my way to buy all this exotic materials and stuff. Or not exotic, but different. You see me, like, a lot of times my fly tying is pretty, you know, one sort of direction. So it's fun to go step outside the box and do some different stuff. You know what I mean? Paul had a nice Easy Body squid from River Bay Outfitters. Very easy. Yeah, Paul buys a lot of Bill's Body Braid and Easy Body for the shop over there. So, what do you call it? I was talking to Bill, actually. He mentioned, he's like, you know, Paul or River Bay? I'm like, of course I know those guys. They do the fly show every year. I've tied for Paul in the past, so. All right. Is this thing dry? I mean, honestly, you want to let this stuff dry for a while. But you know what? We could just go throw it in the swim tank. Oh no, we're gonna take a look at the Discord. We'll throw it. We're gonna put this in the tank before the end of the stream. What we're gonna do. All right. Yes, if you haven't taken a look, shout out Shinobi tying the bat fly, dude. Looks sick. I think you should use felt for something like this. Be nice and durable, because I think what it's made out of some sort of canvas or like plastic or something. But anyways, look at this. Isn't that wild? What a cool fly. And if you haven't, we have a brand new battle report out on my second channel. We have Mike Rolls Dice, which is my second channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs, so if you can, go head over and subscribe to the channel. But we have a new battle report, the touchdown in Transylvania against the U.S. Hoorah versus the Axis forces. So, what else? What else do we got? We got some photos here. Let's take a look. I think we saw most of these, but let's take a look. It's actually been a little while. So Bamboozled, first off, takes amazing photos, amazing fly tire. What was that YouTube channel? I'll post a link. Hold on, give me a sec. I gotta go over here. I gotta go YouTube here. We're gonna click YouTube. I have to go over my other computer. And let me go history. Mike Rolls Dice, the video. I'll post the video in the chat. Share, copy. There we go. We pretty much do all tabletop related stuff. So like Warhammer, Conflict 47, one-page rules, Trench Crusade, stuff like that. So it'd be much appreciated if you guys go head over and subscribe over there, because we're trying to get to 1,000 subs so I can start earning ad revenue there. Because we got the hours watched. I think that channel is going to make more money ad revenue than my main channel eventually. But Bamboozled, beautiful, beautiful stuff. That first fly swimming is badass. Oh, thank you, Monkey. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to throw in the second one here that we just tied. But Bamboozled lives in somewhere Arkansas, I want to say, or something like that. Maybe not Arkansas. Somewhere in the middle of the country. Beautiful country, though. Look at this. Picturesque trout fishing. Look at that brown, though. I mean, just like... He's mean mugging. He's like, what you looking at? What you looking at, dog? And Craggerol was down in Chile. Fishing in Chile. Chile. Little sink tip action. And he was tying these articulated flies. Slamming fish down there in Chile. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. If you guys are interested, we have a link in the description above on YouTube for our Discord. Or if you're on Twitch, !Discord. But, and look at that. I mean, just look at that, dude. Crazy. I had a better picture of the guide with the fish. Yeah, that's how I do it. People don't oh, it was called the TNAs was the name of the one fly, and the Poachers. Yep. That one was on a Peanut Envy. Hey, there you go. Narcon accident, which is just such a great name, by the way, with some nice peacock bass. Look at that. Beautiful fish. Not on the fly, but still, who cares? Killer. December on the Creek. Oh, no, Bamboozled's in Arizona. This freaking ain't Arkansas. That's Arizona, dog. I'm pretty certain it's Arizona he's from. Which makes sense. But, I mean, look at that. How cool is that? Look at the different plant biology. Like, you got, like, ferns, you got, like, different grasses, you have trees. Like, how cool is that? Talk about, like, a interesting biome to fish in, you know what I mean? New Year's Eve. Well, he's wearing gloves, so it gets pretty cold in Yeah, he takes amazing photos. If you guys don't know Bamboozle, you can follow him on Instagram. I know you don't use Instagram, but he posts a lot in our Discord as well. He's been watching the stream for years, but he takes amazing photos and he ties amazing flies as well. Let's see, what have we been missing? I've caught up on everything. Oh, I remember we talked about these. Yep. The deceivers from David here. Beautiful. Aloha Flies, I believe is your name, right? If you're still here. I'm trying to remember exactly what your username was on YouTube. So these are what you're tying fish on a lot over there, right? If I'm not wrong. Looking good. I like it. We got Gabe with some rod wrapping. Dude, check that out. This stuff always blows my mind. Bamboozle does... I mean, not Bamboozled. Brew. Brew does some rod building as well. And then, of course, we got Wolfram Custom Rods, who does this for a living. But very, very nice. What do you got, a freaking soft plastic up there? I like seeing your guys' desk with a bunch of random bullshit on it. It's just like mine. We got a RAS Game Changer. Check that out. Now, again, Aloha Flies, or David, he's tying these for a freaking giant trevally and different trevally and reef fish. Very cool. He's been doing live streams on YouTube. You can check him out. Aloha Flies on YouTube. So there's not many people that actually stream fly tying as well, so we always welcome people doing it with open arms around here. Murano got some peacock feathers from a friend that has peacocks, apparently, or from a nearby farm. So his friend delivered moose meat and brought him some peacock swords. How cool is that? And these are wild, right? You could see these, or not wild, but I should say, like, these are nice, high quality, big swords. They don't have as many feathers as some other ones would. It depends. There's like different styles of peacock feathers you'll see from different birds, I guess, or whatever. But very nice. Hey, Philly Doc, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, chat. If I didn't say it earlier. I know I said it earlier, but some of your folks might not have been here. And then we got a little Johnny Cane's Kinky Mother style. I like this. This is like this is like a short little stubby Kinky Mother. I like it though. Looks nice. Definitely not. It's not using slinky fiber. It looks like it's some other fiber, from what I can tell. It might be, but I think it's a little too coarse for slinky. But it looks great nonetheless. But I like how short and stubby it is. Brew got this new vise. So this is what we were talking about. If you're looking for a cheap, if you're just learning how to fly tie and you want to spend under $50 or something, $40. These are the sort of things that can get you by for the most part, right? You may have an issue putting larger hooks into the vise, but it'll certainly work. And it'll work just fine for the most part. So, there's nothing wrong with just going and getting like a 30. I don't know how much this is, but I'm assuming it's probably no more than $40-50 or something, And it'll certainly last a while, so. And let's see, we got anything else? We got some bats. Yep. Nope, we're looking pretty good. All right, let's swap back. All right, we're going to put this fly in the tank. Let's see what it looks like. Let's take the other one out, shall we? Un momento, por favor. Muy bien. Saying random things in Spanish. This is the one we tied earlier. Again, I think if we just tied this on a much larger hook, then we would have been muy bien. You know what I'm talking about? But now what we're going to do is we're going to try this sucker out. Let's see what it looks like. Let's get some different profile views here. Side profile, top profile. So yeah, just by like this, I like this. I don't necessarily know if we need the giant tubing. It's a little over the top. Now, if we were tying a much larger version where the fly was like this big, I think this size works. But I think the small size works as well. Again, the whole idea is you're tying short fin squids. You're not tying the larger ones. So if you would, I mean, even then, I think this would work too. You know, you just make it longer. But yeah, well, this is one of Bill's pattern from Easy Body. So shout out to Bill. He sent me this stuff. We've pretty much just been like, I've been helping them with their YouTube, getting their YouTube somewhat modernized and stuff. And they've been sending me some materials just to play with, and we're not sponsored or anything like that, but again, shout out to Bill from Easy Body. So very, very nice guy, and apparently a very good guitar player too, from what I heard. So whenever I talk to somebody in the fishing industry that's also into music and plays an instrument or something, that's usually where we're like, oh, hey-o. And we start talking guitars, you know, because I'm a guitar player myself. Oh, yeah. This one's swimming a little sideways, but something tells me it'll straighten up. We put a lead keel in there and all that jazz. What we can do is we can lengthen up the leader a little bit. Because, again, it's a 20-pound leader. You kind of need something a little heavier. Especially when it's just a foot long here. I will say though, Chad, I haven't played guitar in a while. Some of you folks used to watch me play here live on Twitch and stuff, but Frosty's been getting into music and got some guitars, so I might be starting to play guitar again here soon. So you never know, we might need to write some songs for like some of the fly tying or something, or we might start making some music for the streams or something here at some point. So, you never know. Maybe one of these days, even in the future, a freaking guitar stream. But something tells me we're a while off from that. But man, the squid looks good. It's looking pretty good. So what you can see is it's swimming sideways. It's not that it's not tracking properly. We put quite a lot of lead weight on there, and the lead weight is causing that to turn because it's trying to sink properly, but it's just hitting the bottom here like this. So you see how it's riding right on the bottom. Normally the flies ride higher up and they don't sit like that, but we put about 3/4 of an inch of lead wire, 0.035 diameter, wrapped on there, so that's why it's doing that. So we made it somewhat substantially heavy. So you can see it's trying to turn over, but it's just the keel on there is causing it. But the movement looks fantastic. I do like these felt squid legs. He does have them on the website as well, apparently. So, if you guys are interested, you could always check it out. I'm trying to get this freaking thing secured. There we go. Yeah, looks good. Now, alternatively, if you don't have these, you can use something like rubber legs. And what we used to use back in the day is just feathers. So you could use rubber legs, you could use feathers, but this is nice if you're trying to go and you're like, I'm going to tie some kick-ass squid flies. It's nice, right? Do you have to, need something like this to tie squid flies? No, of course not. So it's really, just another alternate or another option in your playbook when it comes to tying stuff like this. So it's fun playing with it. I don't know. These are pretty nice. So I don't do a bunch of squid fly fishing, but I may need to order or may need to get some at some point, and then maybe if I do sell some squid flies in the future, I may use these because they really do look nice and they're going to be durable. That's something to think about, right? Is compared to rubber legs or feathers, how durable is the fly? Is it gonna foul? These are all things that you got to think about when you're tying flies to be sold and stuff like that. Because if somebody buys your flies and they don't fish right, or they foul all the, it's just certain things, they're much less likely to want to use your flies again. So you got to think about how easy it is to fish a fly, and then not only that, it has to look good. So but that's part of the challenge of tying flies for a living, I guess. But that's what makes it fun and all that. So anyways, this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun tying these. Again, the Easy Body's been sick. I'm not tired of it yet. So we got a bunch of different colors and stuff like that, this and that, but next week we'll make sure to cover some different Easy Body crab flies for sure, is what we're gonna do, without a doubt. So good for fluke as well. Yeah, I think so. This would make a great fluke teaser, fished above it like a bucktail jig. I mean, if you show this to the fluke guys, you know what I mean, they'd probably cream their jeans. You know what I mean? I know they have plastic squids and stuff like that they sell that you can use on teasers above, or put on the main jig, or the main use a drop weight with a teaser and then a main hook, and the main hook has a squid skirt and silver sides on the hook. That's a classic fluke rig, and a flash teaser above. But if you fish this as a teaser above a bucktail jig, I mean, that's kind of money right there. And then you could tip it with some silver sides by putting some dead bait fish on it. Now or squid strips or fluke belly. Oh man, I used to love fluke fishing. That was my jam. I'd go to the bridge every day. I'd use bucktail jigs, and I'd catch 22-inch. I would pull up. I'd drop my bucktail jig right down next to a pylon. I would jig it once or twice, and then I would catch a 21-inch fluke when the limit was 20-inch, and I would leave. And every day people would see me do it. I would go catch a keeper fluke every single day, and sometimes I'd just throw them back. And I had all these dudes there. None of them spoke English either. They were all either Mexican or Guatemalan or stuff like that. And every single one of these guys were like, what the hell are you doing? So I started tying custom jigs for all these dudes, where I'd be like, open up your tackle box. And I would take a bucktail jig from them, and I'd be like, come back tomorrow. So they'd come back tomorrow, and I'd be like, all right, this is $10 or whatever. And I'd got it full of marabou, crystal flash, bucktail, and these guys were slamming fluke. They didn't speak a lick of English, and people were custom ordering jigs. I'm like, come back tomorrow and I'll tie the jigs for you. That was great. I used to love doing that. I had all these dudes from Guatemala and Mexico and Ecuadorian, and buying, they were custom ordering jigs at the bridge because they saw me every day doing it. I'd walk up to the pylon, I'd drop my jig down, and I'd go like this, boop, boom, boop, boom, and I would freaking set a 20-inch fluke and walk away. Now, mind you, there was a finesse to it, right? So they were buying, I would tie them jigs, and they were doing good, but you still need to know what you were doing, you know what I mean? And that was the spot that I grew up figuring out. There was a honey hole. That hole got filled in later on with a hurricane, but there was a hole right by this pylon and the current, and you would just drop the jig and you'd hit it once or twice and you would hook a keeper fluke every time. Because what we found out was that in this deep hole, there would be one fluke every day that would like it was like its territory, right? Because the second you would, I don't think there was like a bunch of them in there. I think it was a very small area. It was like the prime spot by the pylon where there was like a dip. And I think like probably the most biggest badass fluke every day would like fight the other fluke for the spot. And that was like the spot where it'd probably sit there and like bite the bait off people's hooks and stuff like that and eat all this bait and crabs and whatnot and shrimp. So like the next day you would come back and there'd be another giant fluke sitting in there. So I'm thinking that was like the best spot for the fish. And like the alpha fish would be sitting in that spot. But because you could walk around the entire bridge and drop bucktails around every single pylon. And it wouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? It was very interesting. They ended up knocking it down and building a new one because of hurricane. But the original old bridge in my bay, I knew that thing like the back of my hand. That place was awesome, dude. I loved it. Oh, it was always great. Like, you know, if people are friendly out there too, I have no problem talking to people and being great and stuff like that. As long as people aren't poaching and they're not leaving trash, I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? I will always be friendly to people and talk to people. It's very easy for people to be like super like, who the hell are these people? You know, I fish there. You're fishing in my spot, dude. You know, people get very standoffish in fishing. So I find if you just smile and you're nice to people, like you're always going to have a good time. So, but yeah, it was always fun. But I just remember people watching me walk up and do it, and they were like, what the hell is this guy doing? To the point to where they started coming up to me, and they were like, how do we get those? How do we buy that thing? Because it would be a bucktail jig covered in the brightest, most obnoxious marabou, crystal flash, a staz, there was rattles, there was easy body. Like, you can't buy anything like that. Like, they don't sell bucktail jigs like that. You know what I mean? So they were just like, what are you doing? And how are you making these? Or like, where did you buy this? You know what I mean? So it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that back in the day. That's back when I actually would pick up a spinning rod too. But nowadays, I'm too much of an elitist fly fisherman. And I refuse. So I just like torturing myself is what the issue is. So why catch a bunch of fish when you can fly fish is what I say. Put that on a t-shirt. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's actually not bad. Yeah, we're all saltwater koi. I live in Long Island, New York, so it's all striped bass and bluefish primarily. We have fluke, things like that, and then during the fall we have false albacore, bonito, and Spanish mackerel, which are pelagic fish. They're like little tuna style fish. Where are you based out of? Are you out of Hawaii or something? Are you Cali or something? Where the hell's 805? I'm trying to think. And kawaii, does that mean you watch anime, or is that where does that mean? Southern Cali? Okay. I see 805. I feel like I've heard 805 as Cali zip code. I have no idea why. I probably saw videos of people like driving Hellcats or something crazy on Instagram. Classic Cali stuff or whatever. Yeah. I always associated fly fishing with river fishing. Yeah. No, and that's the thing nowadays. Like, so you can catch everything from trout. That's your traditional style fly fishing. All the way up to mako sharks, 600-pound makos and white. Oh, it's Ventura. Oh, okay, that's where it is. And all the way up to marlin and sharks. You know what I mean? So that's the beauty of it. But that is a good line. Why? What did I even say? I'm gonna write it down. Why catch fish when you can fly fish? Is that what it is? Yeah. I'll put that on a freaking t-shirt, dude. Why catch fish when you can fly fish? And we'll have a photo of Mike Ross shirtless on a hood. The Los Coast Outfitters in California definitely know what they're doing. Los Coast Outfitters? There's some solid Cali fishing, dude. There's some solid Cali fishing. You have Corbina in the surf. You have striped bass in the Delta. You have salmon up north. You have largemouth and all that freshwater. And then you have things like those freaking white sea bass or whatever the hell that get to like 100 pounds. You have calico bass. I mean, California has, and they have trout fishing. California has like every freaking type of fly fishing you could want in the country in reality. That being said, you'd be living in California. That being said, I live in, New York. Nope. Hit the laugh button, not the goddamn cheer button. Laugh at New York. That's right. Laugh again. We get a lot of cool stuff here, but we also have to live in these goddamn states. You're like, I see you made some money. It would be a shame if I had to take that in taxes. You want to try river fishing this year? Head up north. I mean, you have a lot of different options. So in Cali, you could go up and trout fish up in the mountains, or you could go like fish in larger rivers for striped bass, largemouth bass, things like that. You know what I mean? I haven't fished in 2 years. LCO is Lost Coast. Oh, okay. Lost Coast Outfitters in California know what they're doing. Okay, gotcha. Huge halibut. Yeah, they have halibut in the surf. So, like, it'd be like you're fly fishing for Corbina and striped bass in the surf, and you can catch a freaking halibut. So it'd be like us catching a fluke here, but you can catch like a 40-pound halibut or something. Maybe not 40-pound, but they do even have, like, halibut and different perch and things like that. So very cool. Very cool fishery. Cool place. I've been to Cali many times. My mom's was born in Cali and grew up there for most of her life. And I've been to Thousand Oaks or whatever, or Sherman Oaks. Yeah, Sherman Oaks or whatever. I've been to San Diego. I've been all over the place. And California's cool. This is back in the 90s and stuff, but, Still haven't gotten a legal halibut, but fun. Hey, yeah, well, that's the thing, They're still awesome to fight, but I'm sure it'd be cool to get a keeper one day and eat them, because I hear they're really good to eat as well. So, all right, chat. That's gonna about wrap it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We tied some short fin squids. Again, shout out to Easy Body for sending some stuff. Bill at Easy Body. He's been great, really nice. These were a lot of fun. We're gonna be tying we'll definitely do some Easy Body crabs, or use something some flex tubing crabs. But I'll make sure to figure out some other stuff as well. I'm trying to make sure that we have something interesting for the streams, to where it's something more so than just like, all right, we'll tie some deceivers today or whatever, So, and that being said, make sure to check out tomorrow, coming out at 12 o'clock. Usually we have our videos come out around noon, is what I try to do. Tomorrow we have the Easy Zonker by David Skoke, which is coming out. So make sure to check out that video. Use your hype points as well. Hype that biatch up. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, as always. So 24-hour stream hype. Woo! Let's go! 24-hour stream hype. Hey, cut it off. No 24-hour stream. No 24-hour stream for you. Look, 3 hours and my voice is shot, all right? Don't ask me how I did 12 hours back in the day, but hyped up on freaking hope and inspiration is what it was. My hopes and dreams have been crushed, all right? No 24-hour stream. Screw that. You're lucky if you get googly eyes nowadays. But thank you so much for watching, Mall Dropper. Appreciate it, dude. Paul Bridgers, Shinobi, Traveler, everybody, Zeke. Again, we had Frosty coming in here. I know we had Jin. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Stay safe out there, as always. And, we'll see you next Friday for some live fly time. We have new video coming out tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have probably even another video coming out before then. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Join the Discord if you haven't. We always post when we're going live or when we have new videos and all that stuff. So, all right, chat. Thank you so much. Round of applause again for yourself. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time. All right, chat. We'll see you.